Welcome back to News Talk. To the sports page we go now, and Jay Gruden's declaration that it's Kirk's team now, referring, of course, to the coach's decision to bench the injured Robert Griffin III in favor of former number 2 Kirk Cousins. The decision capping a tumultuous period for the Burgundy and Gold, one that seemingly has cemented the team's reputation as one of the most dysfunctional in the NFL. Ben Standig writes the Breaking Burgundy blog and joins us now. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
What a roller coaster. In the end, is this decision to start Kirk Cousins based on how all 3 quarterbacks played in the preseason? Should fans be more optimistic that the performance of the team on the field this year will be good?
I think you have reason to be optimistic for a few reasons. First off, if we're just talking basic competence, let's not compare any of these guys to Tom Brady or anybody like that. Basic competence, RG3 just was not showing any. The offense just looked inept in almost every facet. Cousins, again, he's got his issues. He had some too many turnovers last year, but it looked like it's an offense is supposed to look when he was under center. He made too many turnovers in the past. Maybe he has recovered from the issue where he would make a turnover and fall apart.
Right.
He, in the 3rd preseason game, for whatever that's worth, he had a pick, but then rebounded and played better. To me, this was the right decision. Without question. I think there should have been a quarterback competition for months now. You could argue maybe they almost wasted a lot of training camp because they didn't get to this point sooner. I actually think if you want to look bigger picture, the fact that the Redskins did make this decision, that maybe they talked ownership into this, I think is a good sign from a power structure that people should be happy about.
You just anticipated where I was going to go. When you think back to the statement that there was going to be a competition, then quickly updated and back in February to say, no, it's Griffin.
Right.
Then the confusion about the concussion, I mean, that was clearly strange and weird, and we weren't getting the facts and the full story, and it was quite a jumble.
Right.
And now the decision to start Cousins. Does it reflect to you, while we may not know all the details about it, a big-time internal struggle about who's calling the shots?
I think that's the only way I can look at it. Jay Gruden's comments last season about RG3 were pretty strong. He wasn't not a big fan of what we saw. He benched him, quote unquote, at point during the season. He then makes a statement, like you said, that they're going to have a competition, reverses it later. And now we go through the last 6 months where he takes all the reps as the starter. We saw that in Richmond during the training camp. The fact that it took this long, I mean, I can't believe from a coaching perspective you would have said to yourself, well, I might switch to Kirk Cousins, but the heck with it. We're not going to give him any reps with the first unit. I think it just took a lot of time, be it the concussion, probably more performance, RG3s, and to some degrees Cousins over the last few weeks, that maybe they finally got to the point of convincing the highest people in the organization to say, look, we've got to make this change, and I think they said okay.
Do you think Robert Griffin III had a concussion? Has?
You know, I would suspect that if you had to pin the doctors on something, he had something. I suspect with most football players, if you needed to necessarily say they had something, you could probably find it. It was so bizarre, though. I mean, basically, if he doesn't get the concussion, he's going to start the 3rd game, and are we in this position now where Kirk Cousins is going to be named the flat-out starter for the year? That seems weird. So that whole situation still seems odd. I will take everybody at their word to a degree, but it definitely seems a little bit odd.
Well, I feel awkward asking this question, but it's on my mind, so I'll ask it anyway. Sure. Is it possible that the concussion thing was cooked up to try to alter the trajectory of the quarterback decision and the quarterback situation?
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's speculation.
No, yeah. It's possible that all sides may have viewed this as an opportunity to view it as, okay, there's something here. Let's use this as an opportunity to get Cousins in the game. Maybe RG3 side on some level viewed it as, this is an opportunity to, we know this is going the wrong way. I think maybe the real question is, did RG3 know about that he wasn't going to play before he had his press conference last week? Because his answers were confusing. He's like, I don't know if I had a concussion. You have to ask them. I don't know what kind of an answer that is.
I don't.
The whole thing is bizarre. The fact that we're even having this level of the conversation is to show the dysfunction. But that's also why I'm somewhat feeling optimistic that they've maybe turned the page and are heading in the right direction.
I didn't see the whole game, but I saw a lot of the play when Cousins was in. And was he playing against the Ravens starters? Probably a mix, right? Probably not their best, but not the scrubs either. A blend, I'm guessing.
Yes.
I saw some things that I liked. The play where he rolls to the sideline and hits the player for the 2-yard gain. I mean, that's a first down. There was a play where he was rolling left and turned his body and had the arm strength to connect. I mean, there were pro-style plays. I liked what I saw.
I think you're seeing it exactly right. I mean, I can take a package of what Kirk Cousins has done, not just in that game, but even going back to last year, and you can put together a package that shows this is what a quarterback has to look like. Again, there are mistakes, but that's part of the job, risk-reward kind of a job. I can't do that. I really don't think you can do that with RG3 where it looks like it's supposed to look. Forget that he can throw the 50-yard bomb. 3rd and 8, I just don't think he can read the defenses to find the receiver. And then when he doesn't, he holds the ball. That leads to the hits. The fact that the offensive line did not allow a single sack in the last game after RG3 got pummeled the previous game, I think kind of says a lot about the whole thing.
Was the notion that you weren't putting the best guy based on objective criteria first on the depth chart, was that having a broader impact across the, everyone wants, if you're a tight end, you're fighting to be the starter, you're fighting to be the primary backup, you want to believe it's merit.
Right.
Was there an impact being had on this?
I do think that's part of what's going on here. I mean, like you just said, they preach competition all the time, whether you're talking the right guard, the backup inside linebacker, special teams, and yet at this position that regardless of whether you think RG3 should be the starter, he didn't earn the right at this point to be the flat-out starter where we're not going to have any quote-unquote competition. So that seemed odd, and I do think that had to have taken, the other veterans in the locker room had to have recognized what was going on here. And I think maybe on some decision this was about the 53-man, the other 52 guys as opposed to just the quarterback.
Is it possible Griffin gets cut?
Well, I think this is almost about the contract as much as anything. They gave him the extension, which for next year he's going to get $16 million if they were to pick it up, or if he gets injured, the contract automatically becomes guaranteed. Now, he doesn't have to just get injured in the game. He can get injured in practice, and if you're going to not play him, that's a huge risk to take. So I do suspect we're going to see some kind of movement here shortly.
Ben Standig of the Breaking Burgundy blog, thank you so much. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Back in a moment.